The very first scene in the new intro is the appearance of Dr. Vegapunk on a screen. We all know this is the biggest event in the Egghead Island arc. Since here, Vegapunk is about to reveal some of the deepest secrets hidden in the story of One Piece. For example, his revelation about the existence of Joy Boy, his claim that there was once a civilization beneath the ocean, and many more. In the following scene, we see several members of the Straw Hat Pirates together with Vegapunk's satellites. The most noticeable detail here is Brook's flying cup of coffee, which literally happened in chapter 1105, when he and Lilith were driving the Thousand Sunny away. Next, we see Jinbei with an explosion in the background. Obviously, this is a reference to chapter 1110, when Gorosei Mars attempted to infiltrate the Labo phase, where Jinbei was also present at the time. After that, we see Sanji kicking Kizaru's laser in order to protect Bonney, a scene taken directly from chapter 1107. Then, we are shown the demonic-looking Gorosei Saturn. In the following sequence, various characters from past arcs are displayed, starting from the East Blue Saga up to the most recent Wano arc. They are shown watching Vegapunk's announcement. Obviously, this is a direct reference to Vegapunk's massive global broadcast. We saw in the manga how Oda included countless characters in this event, making it clear that literally the entire world was paying attention to Vegapunk's words. In both the manga and this intro, we also see Marines, and even the Celestial Dragons watching his announcement. So earlier, we saw several Straw Hat Pirates except for Frankie, Zoro, and Luffy, but now they are shown. Frankie appears alongside Atlas while Luffy is in his Gear 5 form. And as the intro continues, the focus subtly shifts to the larger picture of history, hinting at the long-forgotten figures that shaped the world. One silhouette in particular stands out: the fearsome Rocks D. Xebec. His presence serves as a reminder that the truths Vegapunk is trying to expose are not just about the present, but also about the terrifying legends of the past that continue to influence the future of the seas. And then we see Zoro facing off against Rob Lucci. Next comes a stunning 360-degree view of the entire Egghead Island, surrounded by the Marines' ships, clearly a reference to the infamous Buster Call. Following this, the intro shows the death of Vegapunk and Bonney, witnessing Luffy's sun god form. This is then followed by a faint shadow of Kuma, standing still in sorrow. For me, the reason behind this is that the Egghead Island arc can also be considered Kuma's arc, since it is here that we finally learned the true depths of his character through his tragic flashback. We discovered the sacrifices he made for his beloved Ginny, as well as the way he later poured his love into Bonney, whom he came to regard as his daughter. As the One Piece logo appears, we see Luffy's straw hat flying, brushing past the ancient robot Emet. This serves as an indication of Emet's connection to the former Joy Boy, who, as it turns out, also wore a straw hat. Following this, the intro reveals the Sea Kings in Fishman Island, made clear by the poneglyph situated at the center. This is the same poneglyph that Robin once read, which contained Joy Boy's apology letter to Poseidon. Afterwards, the giants appear in the background, who are destined to become Luffy's allies later on. Next, the two traitors from both sides are shown: York, who betrayed her fellow Vegapunk satellites, and the clone Stussy, who betrayed the world government. Following this, the intro highlights the high-ranking Marines, Akainu and Kizaru, with the Vice Admirals who were present in this arc standing between them. Notably, in Kizaru's sunglasses, we can see a reflection of his joyful past moments with his friends Vegapunk, Sentomaru, and Kuma. The intro then cuts back to more characters listening to Vegapunk's broadcast, those in Wano, Fishman Island, and even the Kamabaka Kingdom. Finally, we are shown a striking transition, the hand of Imu holding a butterfly, which suddenly explodes. This explosion pierces through a library, where the words history and ocean are heavily emphasized. And through this symbolic scene, the intro makes it clear the truth about the ocean, the erased history, and the great powers of the past, including figures like Joy Boy and Rocks D. Xebec, are all pieces of the same puzzle. For me, this part is directly connected to the things that Imu has been erasing or destroying, the erasure of history, and the sinking of the world through the oceans themselves. In the next scene, we are given absolutely stunning transformation shots of the Gorosei. Frame by frame, this is animated so beautifully that it's mesmerizing to watch. The following frame then shows us the eye of Imu suddenly being forced open by Luffy, which foreshadows that he will ultimately be the one to defeat Imu. Naturally, the next sequence teases us with what will happen in the Egghead Island arc battles. It begins with Luffy's attack against Gorosei Saturn, followed by the fights involving Frankie, Bonney, and the Giants as they clash with the Vice Admirals. Speaking of the Giants, we also see Oimo and Kashi attempting to strike at Gorosei Jupiter. However, he immediately counters them with an overwhelming burst of haki. Just from this scene alone, you can already tell which Gorosei Toei animation favors the most, since the direction here is pure masterclass. We then catch a glimpse of Vivi, for the second time in this intro. The first appearance showed her together with Big News Morgans, while this time the boxes behind her turn into poneglyphs, and in the background, several swords appear, a reference to the 19 swords of Mary Jouais. The map then highlights Reverse Mountain alongside a massive hand, which we can assume belongs to Imu, since he is the only one we know to be truly obsessed with Vivi. This transition then cuts to Luffy's wanted poster, alongside Vivi's missing poster. After this, we see Imu piercing a picture of Shirahoshi, a direct callback to chapter 908, where this exact same moment happened. The following shots are what I would call the true highlights of the intro, as they showcase numerous key characters. First, the current Emperors of the Sea. Next, the Holy Knights led by Saint Figarland Garling. Then the Marines and Sword, commanded by Kobe. Afterwards, the Revolutionary Army appears, led by Sabo. Of course, Dragon is also given his own solo highlight, showing him exactly in the very first moment we ever saw him in Lobetown, the day he saved his son, Luffy. A lightning strike appears in this scene, which for me is a clear indication that this is one of Dragon's powers. And because the setting is now Lobetown, the intro transitions to the moment of Goldie Roger's execution. Speaking of Roger, the next scene shows the time when he revealed his secret dream to Whitebeard and Odin. A dream which, as stated, was strikingly similar to that of Luffy's. Following this transition, we see both Sabo and Ace listening as well to what Luffy's secret dream is. This then shifts to the moment when Ace revealed that very dream to Yamato. The theme of dreams continues throughout the next frames. First with the original 5 members of the Straw Hat Pirates stepping onto a barrel, which of course was the iconic moment when they declared their dreams before entering the Grand Line. Next we see Blackbeard, whose scene also revolves around the topic of dreams. And finally, the climactic moment arrives, Luffy revealing his secret dream to his entire pirate crew. In the very last frame, the intro ends with Luffy reclaiming his flying straw hat, with the ancient robot Emet present in the background. For me, this acts as a metaphor that Luffy will be the one to finally fulfill the dream that Joy Boy himself could not accomplish. And with that, our review of the latest One Piece intro comes to a close. My overall take on this new intro is of course a solid 10 out of 10. It even includes subtle callbacks to recent openings, particularly in the form of the stylish transitions, which we can clearly spot in several scenes here. But what about you? What are your thoughts on this brand new One Piece intro? If you were to rate it out of 10, what score would you give it? Let's continue the discussion down in the comments section. And that's all from me. Peace.